The movie begins with a view of train tracks, and we're immediately taken back to the year 1968, when Paul builds a Skyview restaurant to surprise Iris. Iris is thrilled, and for the restaurant's commercial, a picture of Iris and Paul is taken with the tower in the background. They finally enter the restaurant, which has a glass floor. Everything below is clearly visible. At the center, there's a live kitchen, and people are partying and enjoying themselves. During the celebration, Iris places a rose in Paul's pocket, but a thorn pricks her finger, and she starts bleeding. The sight of blood makes her vomit. A singer, who is also at the party, notices this and immediately realizes that Iris is pregnant. When she asks Iris about it, Iris is surprised. This is the first time she's hearing it too. Still, she feels very happy. She also notices the singer's young son nearby and, for some reason, feels a strange connection to him. Later, Paul takes Iris to the terrace with a beautiful top view and proposes to her. Iris gets excited, accepts his proposal, and also tells him the good news: she's pregnant. Paul is overjoyed. Meanwhile, the singer's mischievous son throws a coin from the top, but instead of falling to the ground, the coin gets sucked inside an AC duct because of the vacuum pressure. As everyone continues dancing and enjoying the party, we see that the restaurant floor starts shaking. The coin keeps spinning inside the AC duct, flowing with the air pressure. Then suddenly, the glass floor collapses, and people fall through it. Paul grabs onto a piece of glass, hurting his hands badly, but still loses his grip, falls, and dies. Iris, who happens to be standing on a stable part of the floor, manages to save herself. Meanwhile, the spinning coin hits a gas pipe somewhere else in the building, causing a leak. This leads to a fire breaking out in the live kitchen above. As a result, the singer also dies in the fire, and Iris hides under the piano to protect herself. To save herself, Iris rushed to the lift, but it was completely packed with people. Just before the lift could go down, a man accidentally got crushed under it, damaging the elevator. As a result, the lift malfunctioned, and everyone inside died. When Iris went back upstairs, she saw that half of the restaurant was now tilted to one side. Inside, people were panicking and trying to escape. The only thing keeping that part of the restaurant balanced was a piano. Just then, the same coin that had been spinning in the duct fell onto the piano, causing the balance to break. That entire section of the restaurant collapsed, and everyone in it died. Iris also saw the singer's son, and she grabbed him to try and save him. But suddenly, the ground beneath them started cracking. In an attempt to protect herself, Iris jammed her ring between two iron rods to hold on, but her hand got injured, and the ring slipped off. Eventually, both Iris and the boy fell and died. At that exact moment, a girl screamed loudly, and we realized that everything we just saw was actually a hallucination or vision of a girl named Stefani. She was sitting in her classroom, and her loud scream disrupted the entire class. When her professor asked what happened, Stefani explained that she keeps having these kinds of scary visions and hallucinations. Even at night, she often wakes up screaming from nightmares. Her roommate then advised her, "You should talk to your family about all this." Stefani went home, met her dad and her younger brother, with whom she shared a very close bond. Together, they visited their uncle's house, their mom's brother. There, they spent time with their cousins, who they were very attached to. Everyone was having fun, but Stefani asked her uncle about her grandmother Iris. Yes, the same Iris from her visions. Hearing Iris's name made her uncle angry. He told Stefani, "Your grandmother is dead to us. She went crazy, left the family, and started living alone on an island. She never came back to see us again. That's why your mother also lost her mental stability and eventually left us too." Saying this, her uncle walked away, but her aunt quietly helped her. She gave Stefani some letters written by Iris, her address, and a few of her old belongings. Among them was the photo of Paul and Iris in front of the Skyview restaurant. Seeing that photo, Stefani was shocked. This was exactly what she had seen in her visions. To find answers, Stefani went to that isolated island, where she found a rundown house. Through the security camera, Stefani introduced herself. Iris saw her and invited her inside. Iris, too, was very happy and emotional to see Stefani. Iris asks Stefani about her mother. Stefani replies, "Our mom left us when we were kids." Then Stefani tells Iris something important. She says, "I saw you and Grandpa in front of the Skyview restaurant in my visions. The restaurant was falling apart, and you both were dying. I keep getting these nightmares, again and again, every day and night." Hearing this, Iris says, "The visions you're seeing, I used to see them too, and those visions helped me save lives the day that big accident happened." Iris explains, "That day, I saw a child playing with a coin. I took the coin from him, because I had seen in my vision what would happen if I didn't. And I already knew the glass floor of the restaurant would collapse. So I grabbed the microphone and warned everyone that the floor was about to break. People rushed out, and many lives were saved that day." Surprised, Stefani asks, "You really saved everyone that day?" Iris replies, "Yes, I cheated death and saved all of them. But death didn't stop chasing them." She continues, "Death started playing with the lives of those who survived that accident. It began hunting them one by one. Not just them, but even their children. Even if someone was saved that day and had children later, death started killing those children too. Because if they had died in that incident, their children wouldn't have been born at all. So death came back to finish what it started." Iris then says, "That's when I understood everything. Even Paul, he didn't die in that accident, but death took him through cancer. I knew then, my turn was next. So to escape death, I ran away and hid on this island." She explains to Stefani, "If I die, death will come after your mother, her brother, their kids, and finally you and your brother. But as long as I'm alive, nothing will happen to any of you." Shocked, Stefani asks, "Then Then why am I getting these visions? Iris answers, because now, death is behind us again. Stefani gets very scared hearing this. Then Iris gives her a book. In it, there are details of all the survivors from the Skyview restaurant accident, how they eventually died, their full stories, and even ways to cheat death.
At first, Stefani didn't believe any of it. She thought all this was nonsense. She refused to take the book from Iris and said, "I'll come back to meet you again." Then she walked out of the house. Iris, who hadn't stepped out of that cabin in years, finally decided to face death, to protect her family. She came outside and handed the book to Stefani. She told her, "Now death is coming after you. To survive, you'll need this book." Stefani still didn't believe her, so Iris said, "Then watch me die." Suddenly, gas began leaking from somewhere. One small accident triggered another. A chain reaction started, and finally something sharp flew and stabbed Iris in the back. Iris died right in front of Stefani. Now Stefani began to believe everything Iris had said. 2 days later, they held Iris's funeral, and Stefani's mother also came to attend. At this point, Stefani realized something terrifying. The next death could be her mom's. To protect her, Stefani started reading the book Iris gave her, and inside the book, she found the same coin that had once caused the restaurant accident. Iris had saved it. Understanding the danger, Stefani tried to warn her family. She made calls to alert them, but no one picked up. Meanwhile, her entire family was seen enjoying a party, but the game of death had already begun. A glass broke and a sharp piece fell into the ice tray. People at the party were using ice from it. That piece of glass ended up in her uncle's glass, but he unknowingly set it aside and walked away. Slowly, things at the party began shifting, almost like a chain of events being set up by some invisible force. The glass eventually fell from his hand, and a sharp piece stabbed him in the foot. Because of the pain, he fell to the ground, and that fall caused a vibration. This shook a tool which dropped onto a grass-cutting machine. The machine started running on its own, moved straight toward her uncle, and crushed his face, killing him instantly in a brutal way. Everyone was horrified by this sudden, terrible death. Now terrified herself, Stefani told everyone, "Death is coming after us one by one." She explained how, even though Iris saved everyone during the restaurant collapse, death didn't stop. It continued to target those who survived one by one. Death didn't stop after the restaurant collapse. It kept killing the survivors, one after another, including their families. Now, only Stefani's family and the family of one other boy were still alive. Stefani explained to her family, "First Iris died, then her eldest son. Now, after my uncle's death, it'll be his daughter next. And after my mom dies, it will be me." Everyone listened, but nobody believed her. In fact, her uncle's kids, her cousins, got angry, saying she was making fun of their father's death. Only one person believed Stefani, her mother. But even then, Stefani wasn't speaking kindly to her mom. Now the scene shifts. We see her uncle's eldest son in his piercing shop. He finishes work and closes the store. As a tribute to his dad, he gets a portrait tattooed on his hand. At this moment, he also had a nose-piercing pin in place. Suddenly, the fan above him switches on. Attached to it was a magnetic chain, and because of the metal pin in his nose, the chain gets stuck to it. As the fan spins faster, the chain begins to twist, and so does the boy's body, pulled by the force. Below, there was a lot of kerosene, and his lighter accidentally ignites it. He manages to free himself from the chain, but then falls straight into the fire. His whole shop catches fire. As soon as Stefani finds out, she rushes to the shop at sunrise, but the boy suddenly appears in front of her car, and surprisingly, he's alive with only a small arm injury. They start talking casually when a high-speed truck drives past and shakes him hard, but again, nothing happens. He looks at Stefani and says, "See, I told you I'm fine. Nothing can harm me." But Stefani wasn't convinced. Instead of focusing on what he said, she kept observing the dangers around him, things that could hurt him. Then a garbage truck passes by and Stefani warns him, "Stay away from it." But he walks right up and hugs the truck playfully, and again nothing happens. Now he says to Stefani, "You're just overthinking everything." Meanwhile, his sister goes out for a walk. Suddenly, she kicks a ball by mistake, stumbles, and falls into a garbage basket. At that moment, the truck drivers lift the garbage bin and throw it into the back of their truck, with the girl inside. Stefani and the others witness all of this. They chase after the truck to stop it. Stefani, without thinking about her own safety, climbs onto the moving garbage truck, trying desperately to save the girl. But inside the garbage truck, the waste was being crushed. And sadly, the girl's body was also crushed into pieces by the machine. The only thing Stefani could hold onto was her severed hand. And just like that, the girl died. Everyone was devastated by her death. Stefani's brother looked at her and said, "You were right all along." But surprisingly, Stefani still doubted herself. She kept thinking, it should have been the girl's older brother who died, not her. That's when their aunt revealed a shocking truth. She said, "That boy wasn't your uncle's real son. That's why death didn't come for him. But the girl, his sister, was your uncle's biological daughter. That's why she died." Stefani was completely shocked. Now the entire family started believing her. They understood she wasn't imagining things. The girl's younger brother, now scared for his life, said to Stefani, "Does this mean I'm next? I don't want to die, Stefani. Will you help me?" Stefani replied, "I want to save you, but I don't know what to do next." Then her brother reminded her, "You always figured out what would happen. Just look around you carefully, you'll understand." That's when Stefani remembered something Iris once told her, about a boy who had survived the tower accident and was now working in a hospital. He had managed to cheat death, so they all decided to go meet him. When they found him, they called out his name, JD. JD was shocked. Only Iris used to call him by that name. The group asked, "How do you know Iris?" JD replied, "I was there when the tower collapsed. I was the singer's son." Stefani suddenly remembered him. She had seen him in her visions too. JD went on to say, "Iris met me years ago. She wanted to figure out how to trick death to save her husband, Paul. but despite all our efforts, we couldn't save him. Then Stefani asked, is there any way to escape death? Has anyone ever done it? JD replied, yes, there are 2 people who beat death, but not the way you're thinking. First, death did get to them. They actually died, but later doctors revived them, and after that, death never came for them again.
Hearing this, Stefani pleaded, then please help us. Help us save each other. But JD shook his head. No, I already cheated death once, but now, I have cancer. I'm dying anyway. You can't run from death forever. It's our final destination. Instead of fearing it, we should make the most of the time we have left. The group was heartbroken and didn't know what to do. That's when one of them got an idea. The boy who was supposed to die next was allergic to peanuts, so he planned to make him eat a peanut chocolate bar, and then, inject the anti-allergy shot right before death. That way, they could bring him back and trick death, just like JD said. That was their plan, to cheat death by bringing the boy close to dying from a peanut allergy, then reviving him with medicine. But as the boy approached the vending machine to get the peanut chocolate, the machine stopped working. He was in a hurry and tried to take out the peanuts manually. In doing so, the screw on the machine came loose. Then, both brothers went into a room to hide. The elder brother said, wait here, I'll go get your anti-allergic shot. He closed the door behind him, but as the door slammed, it accidentally pressed some buttons, and it turned on the MRI machine in the room. After some time, the elder brother returned. He had a wheelchair and the injector ready. He gave the chocolate peanut to his younger brother and told him to eat it now. Their plan was almost set in motion, but at that exact moment, the MRI machine activated. Due to its strong magnetic field, it started pulling in anything metallic. Stefani's elder cousin, who had piercings all over his body, was suddenly dragged toward the MRI machine. Even the metal parts of the wheelchair were pulled with force. Before he could escape, he was pulled in completely, and was killed instantly in a horrific way. The younger brother, who had eaten the peanut chocolate, was struggling to breathe due to the allergy. Somehow, he managed to inject himself with the medicine and started recovering. But just when they thought they had succeeded, a loose spring suddenly shot out of the vending machine. It bounced from wall to wall, and then hit the boy who just survived. The sharp metal pierced him, and despite all efforts, he died on the spot. Death had still claimed him. Everyone was shattered by this double tragedy. Later, Stefani looked at her mother and said, Mom, now it's your turn. You should stay in Grandma Iris's house for safety. She lived there alone for years, and stayed alive. Her mother agreed, but as this was happening, something strange occurred. The coin, yes, the same coin that had caused the restaurant collapse years ago, slipped out from Stefani's book. An old woman nearby picked it up and placed it in her purse, unaware of its deadly history. Meanwhile, Stefani drove her mom to her grandmother's house, and gently asked her to go inside. Stefani's mother was very worried about her 2 children. Sensing her fear, Stefani reassured her, Mom, as long as you're alive, nothing will happen to us. With that, Stefani and her brother sent their mom to their grandmother Iris's house, thinking she'd be safe there. But what they didn't know was that the house already had a gas leak, and the wires inside were sparking dangerously. Even though Stefani's mom could smell the gas, she ignored it and went inside. And then, just as feared, a massive blast occurred due to the gas leak and electrical spark. The explosion was so powerful that Stefani's car flew into the water, and she got trapped, struggling to breathe. Inside the house, Stefani's mom was badly burned in the explosion. At the same time, her younger brother, who was standing outside, fell to the ground from the shockwave. Just then, a heavy tower nearby began to collapse toward him, but their mother rushed out and pushed him away, saving his life, and the tower fell directly on her, killing her instantly. The boy realized what this meant. Now it was Stefani's turn. Without wasting a moment, he jumped into the water to save her. He pulled Stefani out, but she wasn't breathing. She had already died. He immediately gave her CPR, and finally, she came back to life. They were relieved. Stefani had been brought back from death. By dying and returning, they believed they had cheated death. The siblings were happy to be alive, but heartbroken over the loss of their mother and the others. Time passed, and life slowly returned to normal. We see a new scene. It's the day of Charlie's graduation ceremony. Stefani's younger brother. Everyone is excited and getting ready. In a sweet moment, Stefani pins a rose in Charlie's pocket. But as she does, the thorn pricks her finger, and a drop of blood appears. Exactly like what happened to Iris at the start of the story. Seeing this, Stefani freezes in fear, and realizes, the game of death is about to begin again. The scene shifts. On the other side, we see the same coin Iris once saved from falling years ago. Now, it's in the hands of an old lady. As she opens her purse, the coin slips out, spins in the air, and lands exactly on the railway tracks. The same tracks we saw at the beginning of the movie. The coin rolls and finally stops right in the middle of the junction, where it could potentially damage the track mechanism. The scene cuts to Stefani and her brother, who are now living a normal life. Their neighbor, a friendly doctor and friend of Charlie's, visits them. He turns to Stefani and says, "Your brother told me everything. I'm really impressed by your story. You're incredibly lucky to be alive." Stefani smiles faintly and replies, "Yes, I feel lucky. I literally came back to life after dying." But the doctor gently corrects her. "No, Stefani, technically, you didn't die. A person is declared dead after they stop breathing for 5 minutes. You started breathing again after just 2 minutes. That means you were unconscious, not dead." Hearing this, Stefani and her brother are shocked. That one realization hits her hard. Stefani looks around, and once again, she starts seeing signs of impending death everywhere. Meanwhile, the train with the damaged track has already gone off the rails. Now, that derailed train rushes toward their neighborhood. It's moving too fast. There's no way to stop it in time. Stefani and Charlie run for their lives, but just when it seems like they might survive, shards of wooden planks from the wreckage fly into the air and pierce their bodies from behind. Both of them die instantly. And just like that, the movie ends with one chilling reminder. You can delay death, but you can't escape it. One day, it catches up to everyone. Thanks for watching.